I'm having a very chilled out sewing day today, and I'm going to be making the Amelie blouse from Silversaga patterns. I adore all of the Silversaga patterns, they are just beautiful. I haven't actually made any of them yet, so this is going to be my first one. They all have very romantic, Doen-esque feel to them. I've only heard good things, so I'm very excited to make this Amelie blouse. I cut out all of the pieces last night and I'm going to be making it in this gorgeous pink cotton. So it's got a lot of texture to it and a little bit of sheerness. I think this is called like a dobby texture when it's got the little spots. But this was from my friend Candice. She gave me this fabric. She bought it to use as a tablecloth at her wedding, and then she gave it to me afterwards to make into something. So I've got the instructions up on my phone and I'm just going to use that to follow along. And ideally I'd like to get this blouse made in one day, so we've got to get going. So the first step, I've got to add the interfacing to the specific parts of the blouse. So let's go. My iron has been making some really weird noises recently, so probably won't have the audio for this, but when I add interfacing I always use another bit of fabric on top just in case it gets stuck to my iron. My iron stopped making the weird noise. It's like it's trying to show me up today. Okay, that's everything interfaced. Now we're going to stitch some stay stitches around the neckline and armholes. Now we're going to do some French seams attaching the front and back pieces together. The sunlight is so nice in here, but then it keeps disappearing and I don't know if you can hear the wind outside because it is crazy. Right, so we want them wrong sides together to start with. Now I need to go and trim down these edges. The ducks are being very chatty. The sunshine is just crazy. I'm going to press the seams open and then I'm going to fold the seam over. Don't know if I'm going to be able to press this open because it's so tiny. I heard somewhere that you should, when you're about to press open a seam or do anything with a seam, that you should press it as you sewed it, so press it flat first. Whoa! Did you hear that? Iron is back in business. I think basically it doesn't like me using the steam setting on this iron anymore. I'm actually just going to press the seams to one side because there's no way I'm going to be able to open those seams. Well, I probably could, I just do not have the patience. Then I'm going to fold them back over and press. Now we're going to finish off the side and shoulder seams with a 0.5 cm seam allowance, finishing those French seams. Now we're going to press the button placket, so we're going to press it towards the wrong side and then we press it by 2.5 centimeters. Okay, and then we need to fold up the bottom by 1 centimeter. And then we're going to fold up by another 1 centimeter. Okay, now we're going to do some funky fiddly bits with the button placket. So You need to turn it back on itself, that 2 centimeters up. And then you can turn it back the right way around. And then we're just going to push out that corner. Ooh, lovely. This is such a useful tool. I bought it in, I can't remember, just a random craft shop. And I think it was intended for paper. I know you can buy one specifically for sewing, but I think the paper ones are cheaper. Now I'm going to stitch down by the placket. Now I'm just hemming the blouse. So I've gone down the button placket and then I'm going all the way along the hem. The blouse has been hemmed and the button placket has been stitched into place on both sides. So I'm going to go and give that a press and then we'll see what the next step is. I need to add some gathering stitches now, so I'm going to do that. Added the gathering stitches around the back and the front neckline, so we're going to gather that up now. I did also notice that, well, I noticed this when I'd cut it out, but I didn't have enough fabric to cut another front, but there's a little stain on the front. I'm hoping it's going to be hidden under the arm anyway, so I won't notice, but you know, it just gives a little memory of Candice's wedding. I'm pretty sure the cakes were sat on this tablecloth. So let's gather these bits up. I've got to attach the collar on now, the one that does have the interfacing. And then I'm just going to be manipulating the gathers so that they fit within this section. So now I've pinned all the gathers around one piece of the collar. I'm going to stitch with a 1 centimeter seam allowance just along there. Now we've got to press all of the seam allowance up into the collar. Then with the other collar piece, we've got to press 1 centimeter up. Now we can attach the other collar piece. So we're going to put those collar pieces, good sides facing. Now I need to trim down this seam allowance around the collar. So I'm just turning that collar through and I'm going to use my edge finding tool. I've just pinned that, but I might actually take it off and go and edge stitch around the top to stop the... Yeah, I'm going to do that. I think doing that understitching on the collar has helped, because now when I press it over I can have a really clean edge at the top and it just sort of folds without you having to do anything. I love understitching. gonna pin this collar into place and hand stitch along the inside. I've just been doing a quick little try on of the blouse now that the collar is on, and it's looking good. I love the shape in the hem. It's very pretty. Working on the sleeves next. I need to mark the top of the placket. So I've drawn the placket marking, and I need to go and do some stitches by there to reinforce it. Might as well do the same to the other side while I'm here. Now I can trim up that placket line up to the top. Placket is now open and ready for binding. Got the binding ready. Now we need to place the slit so that it's sort of open along one edge. I've just decided to stitch straight on without pinning because it's very fiddly and I think it's just easier to sew. Now we've got one sleeve placket in, I just need to go and give it a little press. Now I've got to attach the side seams of the sleeves together, so we're going to do wrong sides together first because we're going to do a French seam. And now I'm going to finish these sleeves, so I've got to do a gathering stitch all the way around the cuff, well not the cuff, the bottom of the sleeve. I just went and pressed up the cuffs by 1 centimetre, so that's ready to be pinned into place, and I'm going to pin that good sides facing, and I have to leave 1 centimetre at the edge. Cuff is attached to one side, so I'm going to go and do the same to the other. Now I need to fold the cuff. I've just pressed it so that it's sitting in half, and this is what it's looking like inside. So I'm then going to fold this back on top of itself, and I'm going to stitch the ends with a 1 centimetre seam allowance. Then I can turn the corners through and we get a nice edge. I can push the edge out with this tool again, and now we just need to attach this bit. I could stitch it by hand, but I think I'm just gonna do it on the machine. I'm gonna pin it into place so that it goes over the stitch line at the back, like just over it, and then I will be able to catch it from the front. I've just added one of the sleeves off camera, and I wanted to check how I was doing it without the pressure of being filmed. So that is in. I now understand the French seam in an armhole. I'm just going to pin that all the way around. This little tailor's ham is really useful when pressing curved seams, but I'm going to press the seam flat first, just as I've sewn it. Now we've got the armhole ready to finish off the French seam, so I'm just going to stitch around with 0.5 centimeters seam allowance. I'm just going to try it on top of the blouse I'm wearing. I've just got to add the buttons now. So I'm going to mark out where to put the button holes and then choose my buttons. Now I've got to choose buttons, because then I'll know how big I need to make the buttonholes. So I've got a big selection of buttons in here. I'm torn between the tortoise shell and these slightly pearly white ones, and then I've got the tortoise shell ones. I usually would always be tortoise shell, but I'm actually leaning towards the white. So now I've got to go and set up my sewing machine ready for buttonholes. I'm about to set up my machine for sewing buttonholes, and mine has this really handy thing where you put the size of the button that you're using in the end here, and you shut it without it jumping out. And then that will tell you how big it needs to be. So I'm going to take this over and do a few test runs. I'm happy with the buttonhole, so just going to hope and pray that everything's okay. One down, a few more to go. Buttonholes have been stitched on, had a bit of a dodgy one at the top there. Now I'm going to add some fray stop to these buttonholes. Now I just wait for that to dry, and can add the buttons, and it'll be done. So I thought I'd show you how I like to stitch my buttons on. And I start off by just picking up a little bit of the fabric, then I leave a tail like that. I hold on to the tail and I stitch over that same spot. 1, 2, 3 times, and then it's nice and strong and you can cut that long tail off. So I just go through the button and then I pick up another bit of fabric from underneath, pull it tight, go through the button again, grab another little bit of fabric, go through the button one more time, go through the fabric, and then I like to hold on to the thread and wrap it round 3 times before going through the fabric again. and then I post the thread through to the back and just chop it off. And then you have a nice secure button that looks really neat at the back. Buttons are on, and now I'm just snipping open the buttonholes, and then I can put it on and show you guys what it looks like. I like to use these little thread snips to cut buttonholes. I find them very handy. What do you guys think? I think it's turned out so well. I've wanted to make one of the Silversaga patterns for the longest time now, and I finally got round to it. I might even try and find some more of this fabric and see if maybe some matching Piper pyjama bottoms would look pretty cute with this. Because I draft so many of my own patterns, it's really nice to see how other people do it and see what their instructions are like and everything. I just find it all very interesting. I'd highly recommend this pattern if you're looking for a new sewing project. I will link it down below as always. I'll probably post some pictures wearing the blouse on my Instagram if you want to see some more photos of it. I hope you're all having a great day, and I will see you in my next video.